Shamika, and I am back, and today I decided to actually move this particular video onto this platform to get some feedback from you guys, because I know that you guys have done it, so I definitely want to get your feedback. So go ahead and share your agency information, and I'll get into our topic here shortly. So it has been a moment in time since I've done a Facebook Live, and some of the content that we had here on our YouTube channel is being pushed over to YouTube from Facebook. And if you want to check out some of those videos, I would go there to check them out. But as always, welcome to our community. Welcome to our Facebook page group here on Facebook. We're glad to have you. Welcome all new members. If you haven't, shout yourself out, share your social media, tell us about your particular agency. So today's topic, because I actually have a topic today, and feel free to chime in and share any comments, as we probably will do a Talk About It Tuesday this week or Thursday. So we definitely love to get ideas from you guys. We get a lot of our ideas and inspiration from what you all post in the group, so feel free to keep going. So we're going to be talking about other businesses that a newbie NOSA could be doing while they're getting or going through the process of starting their agency. And one of the reasons that I decided to share this topic is because I was doing that same thing. So before I became a NOSA, I was doing other businesses, and when you start, if NOSA is your first business venture, you'll realize once you get going, you keep going. So you'll go from business to business. Hopefully it'll be in alignment with what you're trying to do. But one of the things that had me think about this was because many NOSAs are stuck in a place where they're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, or why it's not working, and sometimes you lose a lot of time doing that process. So you still want to generate income, you still want to own your own something, and I decided to come up with what other things you could be doing in the meantime that could generate business income if you decide to kind of go full-fledged, full-time into the entrepreneur space. So here are some of the things that I've done, as well as some of the things that you may be able to do yourself. And then, of course, if other people have other resources or things that they've been doing, definitely feel free to share as well. So we'll start in 5s and 5, so it's just 10, so you guys definitely add to it. But the first 5 things that you can think about doing is home health care. And a lot of people, we got feedback on our YouTube channel, was like, oh, home health care is as much work and process and product or services as staffing. So they're different. One of the reasons that they're different is that they have different audiences, and home health care is already regulated. So some of the reasons people go into staffing versus home health care is because of the regulation, but you also have to take into account, because it's regulated, there's already steps in place for you to go through the process of getting your policies and procedures, inspection, commercial space, things of that nature. So it already has a built-in process, whereas staffing is a little bit more open, or has been a little bit more open, so the steps involved are not as cumbersome, but can be, depending on the state you're located, and just have become a little bit more cumbersome because of the pandemic. The next one is CPR instructors. So I was a CPR instructor. We have quite a few NOSAs here in the community who are CPR instructors and or run CPR schools. So that's really nice because you kind of have a built-in audience or clientele. I did CPR instructor a couple of years ago. The process of becoming an instructor isn't cumbersome. It's something that you probably can do over at least a week or a weekend, depending on where you're located. The main things that you have to do is really align yourself with a good school that supports your business. You want to make sure that you're registered with the American Heart Association, where you're able to get access to resources, as well as people who need those particular certifications get access to you. And then, of course, if if it's your full-time gig, you want to have a website and things like that. And then the only real cost that could be substantial is the equipment. So there's a lot of Facebook groups just like ours out here that sell equipment, but you also have the option, which is what I did when I was a CPR instructor, is to rent the equipment from your local community colleges or your local instructor network. So those are really good things, and it's something people need to do their jobs. So that's really nice. The other thing is CNA school. The same thing applies to CNA school or instructor. I was a CNA instructor a couple of years ago, or probably more than a couple. Help me. A while ago. And what makes that nice is that there's a lot of flexibility. Again, you get access to potential applicant pool. You get access to potential clients. I worked for a private school in the state that I was living in, and in that particular state, which at the time was Georgia, the train the trainer program that they had was free. So you just had to be able to get on the website and register. I know in some other states there may be a cost or there may be a waiting list, but check out your state, find out the process. Ours was run through our, I believe it was a CNA registry. I'm not sure at this time what it's called, but your state board of nursing or your Department of Health should be able to provide you information on those two things. And then the next one is HEDIS or CDI. So HEDIS is essentially a seasonal work opportunity that can sometimes be done 1099 or W-2, where you are doing chart reviews. And you're reviewing charts for health insurance companies. And the irony of it is that you're reviewing charts for health insurance companies who typically use or offer a Medicare or Medicaid insurance policy in addition to private policies. So you're reviewing to make sure that they meet the specific standard requirements for the various measures that the stars, same thing as what we talk about on Medicare.gov, are requiring. And the example would be, as far as like a chart review, would be that if I'm reviewing a chart for a health insurance company and the person has diabetes, type 2 diabetes, you know, you want to make sure that these people are getting specific tests as a part of the preventative, the following of care, continuity of care around their disease process. And that looks like an A1C, you know, that looks like, you know, various testing, various types of visits. You want to make sure that they do a creatinine check. So all those things, there's a list of things that they have, and it changes year over year, that they have as far as requirements for them. And you essentially are reviewing the chart to make sure that those things happen during the year for that particular member. And that's kind of how they're rated as a health insurance company by Medicare and SARS. The next one is, like I mentioned, it's 1099. So a lot of people here are either working for their agency as a 1099 contractor or can work for other healthcare systems as 1099 contractors. That's still a great opportunity. When you get started with any business, you don't have to go full-fledged as everybody might or may not do. You want to think about what works for you and your situation. For a lot of our solopreneurs, being a 1099 is a great way to start because you may not have the infrastructure or resources to jumpstart your business. So you want to think about those types of things when you're getting started. The other things that you want to take into consideration are, you know, insurances and bandwidths. Like, how much insurance do you need? And those are things and costs that you don't have to take on as much, so it won't be as much money to run it individually as it would be if you were to do it with a staffing agency. And then the next couple of ones that I have are your scrub business. I think we've all know a scrub owner or someone who participates in running a scrub business, but the nice thing about the scrub industry is that there's levels to it. So you don't have to be a direct-to-client seller of scrubs. You can be a distributor, you can be a trainer. There's also a lot of trainers out there. So there's a couple of different levels where you can fall into that. And of course, everybody in healthcare needs scrubs. So it's always great to have some of that built in. And as I mentioned before, there's quite a few NOSAs here that have scrub businesses. And then the last two are your med spas or IV hydration spas. Those are really nice because those are great perks to offer your employees. One, again, there's also a great audience to look for potential clients, because why couldn't your med spa also provide flu shots or provide COVID vaccine vaccination? So when you're thinking about some of these additional and other things that you can do while you're waiting to get your business off the ground for whatever reason, it could be that you're waiting for capital, it could be that you're waiting for the infrastructure or the right time or the right location, or waiting for more time to pass. You can still be in business and have different businesses that complement each other. So that was kind of the goal of kind of bringing up the topic, is that these different things, these 8 or 10 businesses that I've discussed, really are nice because they complement a healthcare staffing business. It's complemented our business because it creates opportunities to connect with other types of clients, other types of clientele. It also offers the opportunity to kind of cross over between different businesses, so that if you want a home health care, those people might be able to pick up per diem shifts for you. And then also CNA schools, the CPR schools, those are great ways to pipeline for potential applicants. The HEDIS and the whole insurance world, if you're not a part of it, it's worth exploring, is another part of the industry that I think gets overlooked a lot. So you want to think about where you are in that space as far as, hey, do I have a health insurance background? And really, health insurance is just another specialty, no different than dialysis, if that was your specialty. We've had NOSAs do dialysis, hospice, labor and delivery. Those are all specialties, but they have the same needs for per diem and local and travel staff. And then, of course, starting out as a 1099 independent contractor, that's something you can do. The process has some similarities, but you want to make sure that you do your due diligence, and that could offer you the opportunity to get in the door, get in front of the decision makers, be able to connect with potential clients, gain additional business, be able to provide exclusivity for those clients if those are clients that potentially become clients of your agency. And then, of course, be able to add staff to any needs that they might have. And then, of course, scrub business, we all wear scrubs, this opportunity to make income, and then med spas and IV hydration. So if you have any businesses that I may have missed that you think are great complements to healthcare staffing businesses, feel free to share in the comments. As always, welcome to our community. We're glad you're here. If you want to check out this video and others like it, definitely check out our YouTube channel that I'll drop here in the comments and get more in-depth information about what we do here at the NOSA group. But welcome again to our Facebook group. We have a lot of great information for you guys as far as the process of getting started. Trust me, the questions and the answers and the comments and the experiences are here on our group, and you can get just about every answer. And sometimes it'll be different, because one of the things that makes healthcare staffing unique is it looks a little different in different places. So feel free to ask your questions. Be mindful that our group is large. We officially hit 7,000 members, so sometimes it may take our staff a little bit of time to get to your questions, but we typically will give you feedback. We did decide a couple of years ago to discontinue the posting of the frequently asked questions about getting started, and a lot of that information is listed for you guys under files, guides, features, so you can get that information there and look there, as well as check out the search bar. As always, I hope you're making it a marvelous Monday, and I will be chatting with you.